Hey, Flimsy Lunch Tray here with a Friday video for you as we find ourselves back in ranked in Warriors Path Arms Race in the gearing. Now this is going to be ranked 7.0 and then I will have one more next week, ranked 8.0, and that will be the last ranked battles I show here on the YouTube channel from the 18th season.
Action stations.
So, in looking at the lineup here, we have 4 destroyers, 1 cruiser, and 3 battleships. The enemy team has 2 Montanas, a Gross Kurfürst, Smolensk, Gearing, Somers, Shimakaze, and Holland. While on our team, we have the Ohio, Kurfürst, Kremlin, Moskva, 2 Gearings, and 2 Hollands. So, as we look at the enemy team, they don't have any radar, but we do with the Moskva, which is quite nice. And I believe it's on the Moskva that they carry like the 30-second radar, if I'm not mistaken. So that is nice. So I honestly like our lineup with having the double gearing and double Holland. Of course, we want to take out the Shimakaze. We want to remove the threat from our battleships. You know, Hollands are fast torpedoes, so we're going to watch out for that. And the Somers 12 torpedoes, and the gearing having the 10 torpedoes. So yeah, overall, pleased. So we're talking a little bit here in chat, where I'm encouraging my team just be patient in starting the match. And playing this ranked season and then other previous ranked seasons, I have personally found that if you're going to win a match, at least in a position from a destroyer, I mean in other ships too, that patience is key. You want to keep that in mind because you really want to know where the enemy is positioning before you make moves as a battleship, destroyer, or cruiser, and pushing further up. So we're going to drop 2 sets of torpedoes on this buff here that's going to be spawning in 17 seconds. Usually getting an angle helps in dumping torpedoes, so maybe we'll go lucky here. Now, if you have noticed, we are RPF located, which is right here. So I'm keeping that in mind, and I just let my team know that I am RPF'd in the gearing. So I'm expecting there to be a DD somewhere on this flank. And I'm detected, and it's the Somers, so we're going to say some shots on him. Now I don't use the smoke screen at first, because I didn't think I'd continue to get detected, but then I do by the Smolensk or something, so then I do pop smoke screen. And we do lose a little bit more health than wanted. And we see that we just took out an enemy Holland with the 2 torpedoes. So we got First Blood and Devastating Strike. So it looks like we hit him somewhere. Maybe it was a little past the buff, so that Hail Mary with the torpedoes actually came in handy, and having a faster torpedo reload on the gearing with the commander skill setup that I have. So I'm going to let the buff, healing buff, do its magic, so I'm going to fall back for right now. No sense of staying in the smoke screen, I can't see anything. I'm assuming maybe that Smolensk is somewhere chilling in that area. Maybe we'll hit him, maybe we'll hit the Somers. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, so there's the torpedoes that I figured that would be coming through. So I turn to nose in just in case there are some more. Yeah. So I think there's only 2 sets we're going to see here. So that gives our Moskva a heads up. Now you can see that on our opposite flank, the gearing, he's not going very far. He's staying in that general vicinity. So I have to be mindful and make sure that the enemy team doesn't push that flank. There's no evidence of that so far because we've only spotted 1 of their destroyers. So that's, I think, a little less than preferable at this point in time, and being 4 minutes into the game, only knowing where 1 of their destroyers is at least where I can tell from my perspective. So I'm going to keep moving up. I'm keeping my guns focused on this side, debating if I want to go ahead and push on this side of the island, which I decide, yeah. Okay, and there's their gearing. So those two destroyers, looks like your Montana's moving up rather aggressively over on the E7 line.
All stations.
So I'm just going to chill in this area because I want to make sure that there's a buffer between the Moskva, the Kremlin, and the Kurfürst, and we get detected again, which is that Summers. So we're going to pop the engine boost, and I have a little bit of an issue here. We're going to dodge that, but I have this island here. I just wanted to get outside of detection. I was not in a favorable position to just go ahead and start lighting the Summers up because of having that Smolensk with his high DPM HE shells. And my smoke was still coming off cooldown, so there's no need for me to engage. Now we're going to dump a set towards the direction of that Smolensk. I'm going to dump another set there, predicting that the Summers is going to push up a little farther with his smoke screen. Yeah, and so one of our teammates took out another destroyer, which is good, going for the heal buff. The Ohio player is highlighting his flank, so I'm not sure if there's a destroyer over there. But the Montana and Gross Kurfürst are pushing that flank. Now at this point, I want to go for the healing buff. That's where I'm heading towards now. And I'm still keeping my guns on the side. I know the Smolensk is somewhere over there. I know the Summers is still in that general direction. It looks like this is a set from the Summers, I'm going to assume.
All stations. Concentrate fire on the target.
So yeah. So the issue I have with our team, well, I'm being very nitpicky when I say this, but all three of our destroyers, if you paid attention just outside the gearing, they've all been staying clustered up in the center. So granted, they're filling the center way with caps, but they're not helping defend the flank of the Ohio. So there's no need for three destroyers to be in one area. And now I'm joining the mix because I wanted to get this heal. But that's not going to happen because Montana's pushed up. I'm going to slam on the brakes and turn in to avoid that because that was coming. So I'm going to dump a set a little bit behind where I think he's going to be at because I'm pretty sure he's going to be turning to his right. So we're going to just keep lighting him up with the HE shells. Now let's go ahead and decide to set one there just in case he makes it through this set. I'm not expecting him to live very long as he is broadside to our Kremlin, three other destroyers. And the Gross Kurfürst might have some shots. It looks like there's some secondaries lighting him up. So we do get him with a torpedo in the rear, and I highlight him as a target. Now the Ohio is dealing with the Montana pushing, as well as that Gross Kurfürst is in a bit of an aggressive position to help back him up. And then the other gearing dumps his torpedoes way too late. So that's something I see a lot of players do, is that when there's a ship that's about to go down, like how that Montana had 12,000 HP left, I'll see a destroyer just dump torpedoes and the enemy ship will die before the torpedoes ever reach because he's so low on HP. So he's now wasted his torpedo set and has to wait for a little while. Now he could be going for the Grosse Kurfürst, which I just realized that. I wonder if that is what he did. But he's out, unless he's got the 16.5 torpedoes range. If he has 10.5 kilometer torpedoes, he's outside range. They'll never reach the GK. Now I go ahead and highlight to our GK that I'm coming. I want to get this other healing buff because the other destroyers just aren't. They're kind of just circling around. There's no need for them to continue to just chill out there. Yeah, it looks like those torpedoes are already starting to dissipate, so he had the 10.5, so he wasn't even close enough to hit the Grosse Kurfürst with his torpedoes. Now, Ohio is still dealing with that Montana. Now, the Grosse Kurfürst didn't push in and back him up, which honestly would have been a bad decision because of there being this many destroyers in the center. And Ohio takes him out. Having that 40-second heal repair party really helps. Now, the Summers is no longer... we look here, I think he's probably moved up. He's probably going towards the cap. And if So we've seen the Shimakaze and Summers, and then they just have the Ghost of Kurfürst left, while our team is still intact, as I keep hitting the microphone stand. And I'm going to move up here because the Ghost of Kurfürst is pushing in from behind. There's the Summers, and I'm a little concerned that there's going to be a bunch of torpedoes coming this way, so I want to do some intel search for the Ghost of Kurfürst real quick, because I don't know if he has his hydroacoustic search going. So there's Summers, and then there's the Shimakaze. So I'm going to pop off a few sets, and I'm going to tell him immediately to get back, even though I didn't get to get shooting, because if he comes out now, he's not going to be in a good situation. And it looks like the Summers dumped torpedoes on us. And yeah, then there's the second set from the Shimakaze, or third set. And now we can see him, so we're just going to keep lighting him up. I think the Ghost of Kurfürst has him in hydroacoustic range. That's the only reason we should be seeing him in the smoke like that.
Our team has taken the lead.
Oh, and the Holland takes out the enemy Ghost Kurfürst, so that's great. So it's good for them, them being over there to kind of help defend that Ohio. And there's another set from the Summers, and another set from the Summers, because the Summers has 3 sets of 4, where the Shimakaze has 3 sets of 5. And yeah, so it's be pretty darn hard to lose at this point in time. Now the Moskva lights up his radar, so we can see the Summers. He starts shooting, and then there's the Shimakaze. So we have 10,000 health on the Shima, and then there's like 15,000 on the Summers right now. So we're going to try to get some sets, and I realize that Summers might end up targeting me, which he is, but he's really not getting lucky with hitting me. Because I'm trying to actively dodge him and decide I'm going to go ahead and go dark here. It's just pointless to try to exchange fire with him, because he keeps shooting at me. He's going to keep losing his HP pool because of the Ghost of Kurfürst secondary build. Now the Ghost of Kurfürst really doesn't need to keep pushing up. It's going to cost him for doing that, because really, I mean, he's got the secondary build, of course, but he can really just let us destroyers take over and push ahead here, which is what I end up telling him, because he's about to eat a couple torpedoes. I try to holler at him to get back and let us destroyers take the front line. So I'm not rushing out the cap because I wanted to get control of the cap first.
Our victory is in sight.
So the points are going to start raining in pretty quickly at this point. And with 3 destroyers, or 4 of us destroyers pushing up now, yeah, we could just sit back and be idle, but when you're this close, we're just going to go ahead and go for it. So I'm going to kick in the engine boost, and this Ghost Kurfürst is going to eat these torpedoes, and I'm going to use him as a meat shield to keep me safe from the sea sausages. And let's see if we can get one here. Yeah, so overall our team played really well. We played more not so aggressive as the enemy team did, so that ended up helping us a lot. So there goes the Summers, and now it's just the Shimakaze left as we get closer to 1,000 points. So that's going to be game. So it's a pretty good game. The team worked really well together. I mean, my only complaint was that the destroyers should have worked a little bit more on the opposite flank. So let's go to post-battle results. So we're going to end the battle with 80,000 damage, with almost 500,000 credits received, with 10 million experience, and 10 million experience, 10,000 experience, and 1,130 free experience with getting the Devastating Strike and First Blood. So we can see that there was kind of a broad sense of what we contributed to the team here. And if we look at the base experience, we actually ranked up on top. Man, I keep hitting this microphone. Ranked up on top, so we got 2,381 XP, and the Kremlin, oh, I didn't actually catch his name, I don't know what that is. Then we have Ohio, and so on and so forth. Then we see the spread of damage here. And at the end of the day, we only get a profit of 300,000 credits. So yeah, so overall, a really great game. And a shout out to the Ohio player, CNote81, for giving me a shout out in a direct message following the game for doing a good job. So appreciate that, and compliments to you as well, sir. And yeah, so I think this was a great example of a team playing patiently. We didn't play super aggressive. Usually the enemy team, if you play it right, will get the itchy feet and feel like they have to do something and ends up costing them mistakes. So my thinking process when it comes to playing ranked is that if you just take your time, play patiently, go off with intel once you know where enemy ships are located, that is a really winning recipe. Granted, we didn't know where all the destroyers out for the first 5-6 minutes of the match, but eventually it comes around and you just work with what you have. So if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe if you want to see more, and if you have already subscribed, thanks so much. And we will catch you guys next week. So until then, take care.